Hello, good morning everybody. Hope you're all excited to start some granny squares. I can't believe how popular these have got recently. I wore this cardigan to a festival last weekend and everyone was saying how much they liked it, which was great, but also I was chatting to lots of other people who had granny square cardigans, jumpers, halter neck dresses, all sorts of stuff on. So yeah, it is the season and it actually doesn't take that long. So the idea is that today I'm going to go through making first a very simple one colour granny square. There's one almost finished there. So just so you get the process, that's how I'd recommend you start learning granny squares until the weird process gets in your head. And then we'll do some colour change ones so that you can change those yarns on every go. Then it might open your world. And I've recently been trying all sorts of like floral designs and kind of crazy star designs. There's all sorts of options out there. So I'll talk a little bit about those. Here's one as well, a rainbow design. All right, so I'll just let you know where I found all those. But yeah, so some of the products that you could make is something like this, like a little cardigan. A bag is really easy, a little pencil case, a hot water bottle, a little storage box, a little bobble hat, and here just a simple cushion. Obviously loads and loads more ideas. So yeah, if you're ready, you just need a little bit of yarn in front of you. You need a matching crochet hook, and that's about it. So let's go. Hi Irene, and yeah, hi Sue, good to see you here. So here we go. So if you've got any kind of crochet books at home, you'll have seen a picture like that. Let me just make it a little bit away for you so it's a little bit easier to see. Hopefully that's a bit better. And again, I can share this on the comments afterwards. At the moment, this may look totally scary, but it's become the way. Let me just turn my speaker down on my phone. I can hear a little bit of interference. 2 seconds, sorry. Oh, so it's fiddly in there. Hopefully that will make a difference. There you go. So yeah, you may have seen these pictures before and they look really intimidating, but they've absolutely changed my life. Now I understand how to do them. I feel really confident and I'm able to pick up any of the books that I actually already owned at home. And I've realized that I can follow the patterns much easier using a picture, but I'll also explain it in words for those people who like it in words. The picture that I found was something I found online. It was quite easy to find, just typing granny square diagram, I think. But it was an American version before. So I've just done my own little key here. So we've got the arrow is start here. These little circles are going to stand for chains. And these little dots are going to stand for slip stitches. And then this long arm with a line through it, little T shape with a line through it, is going to be a treble crochet. And I'll go through, this is just like a step-by-step of what a treble crochet is, just in case you've forgotten. So if anyone's doing crochet for the first time, I will go slowly, but you'll probably be better off going back to when I taught beginners crochet to just get a bit of a better understanding of all these sort of terms here. But if you want to join, by all means do, and I'll try and go as slowly as I can so that you get the process. So like I said, we're going to start with single colour. I'm going to keep that diagram close. And whilst I remember, when I went onto Word, and I just mirrored the image, which is really useful if you're left-handed, because you'll want to do everything the other way round. You'll feel more comfortable doing it this way round. So that was quite easy, and that might be a top tip. If you see any patterns in books that you find hard to follow, you can literally just take a photo and then you'll have like a mirror function and you'll be able to then print them out the other way round. Maybe there's a little book deal that's needed in that, actually, a left-handed crochet book. Right, let's get started. So if you can kind of see, a granny square ends up looking like this. So these little things here, these little clusters of 3 stitches, end up being these little squares here. These ones are all the blue row here. And then this row here, the darker black row, is going to be this mustard row here. So again, little clusters of 3 stitches, which is what each of these are. And then this light grey row is this pink row here. And then this black row here is this turquoise row here. So that's what we're aiming to complete. Like I said, we'll do it in one colour first, just to get you warmed up. So some people start with a magic ring in the center. If you've ever done one of those, feel free to give that method a go. I'm going to stick to the good old-fashioned slip knot and chain. I kind of prefer that. So I'm just doing my regular slip knot where I create a little fishy and then I pull my yarn up through the middle and then pull the ends. There's lots of other ways of doing slip knots. If you know a different way, then just do the way that you know. All right. Then if we look here, so that's just where we started. And what we're going to do is 4 chains. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. That little dot is actually at the end. So a chain is yarn over, grab the base of the previous loop and then pull through. That's chain number 1, yarn over, chain number 2, yarn over, chain number 3, yarn over, chain number 4. Okay, so we've created our 4 chains there. Then we connect them to each other with a slip knot. So we're literally just going to go and find chain number 1, which is that one there. We're going to put our hook straight in, no yarn over. We're going to pick up the yarn from behind and we're going to pull it all the way through. Okay, so what we've got there is a little loop of chains. Should be able to, I'm using a chunky yarn today. So it is, I would recommend that if you're a beginner, just because it's nice and easy to see and everything's quite big. And I'm using a size 6 hook. Hiya Liz, how are you doing? Then what we're going to do from here is we've got 5 chains. Okay, so just exactly what we just did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is probably the hardest bit to kind of understand when you're first learning granny squares. These 5 chains, 3 of them are one of the treble crochets from the next row. Can you see these are in a bundle of 3, these are a bundle of 3, these are a bundle of 3, and then there's only 2 there. So these 3 here are going to act as the 3rd one. And then can you see there's 2 chains in every single corner? So the next 2 of the 5 are the final 2. They're the ones that are actually the turning corners for your little squares. So that's where we are now. Okay, and we're about to now do 1, 2, 3 treble crochets. And again, if you are left-handed, you would currently be by here and you're doing 1, 2, 3, whatever. So you're about to put 3 treble crochets inside there, but I'll go back to right-handed. I think most people are, but let me know if there's a few left-handed people watching. I can always do a little bit more of a better explanation. So a treble crochet is this stitch, okay, where you go yarn over, you go into the hole, you pick up the yarn from behind. Okay, so you should have 3 on at this stage. Then you go yarn over, then you pull through 2, then you do 1 more yarn over and you pull through 2. So if you find it easier, you could always write down these steps that lots of the people here like to do. So step 1 is yarn over, you insert it into the space, I suppose, yeah, the hole in the center. You yarn over, you return out of that space, then you do another yarn over, then you just pull it through 2 loops first, or 2 hoops, sorry. Then you do a final yarn over, so 4 yarn overs in total, and then you pull that one through 2 hoops at the end to finish the stitch. All right, so feel free to write those down if you find it a little bit easier. Hi Julie, not too far away in Pembrokeshire. I bet it's lovely there today. I wouldn't mind being near the beach. Yarn over, in, so we're doing it the 2nd time now. Through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You'll notice my tail is there amongst my stitches. That's quite handy because I'm actually then going to be weaving it in as I work. Sometimes it's quite hard to get used to that, but I'm making sure that it's the same height as my hoop. And then the 3rd one, so remembering these are all going into this chain in the center. So yarn over, into the hole in the center, picking up the stitch, sorry, picking up the thread, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we're going super slowly on this round and then we'll speed up a little bit. But it'd be great if you can keep up. So currently we've got a little loop of 4, 5 chains, and then 3 treble crochets inside the center of the loop. Okay, we're currently there. 1, 2, 3. Now, you may have noticed I had a pen out earlier. I forgot to use it till now, but this is really good. If you can print out your own little images, you can then, as you go, especially for your first couple of times, is you can highlight what you've done, and then you'll feel much more confident that you don't get lost. And if you get distracted by people delivering things, and like I am sometimes with people driving past, you can know, right, I'm currently at chain 2, sorry, 1, 2. So I'm just going yarn over, pull through once, yarn over twice. That's my chain of 2. All right, let's cut that in. Now I'm doing 3 treble crochets inside the same center. That feels like a bit weird because you're going to put loads inside that hole, but honestly it does look really nice afterwards. So yarn over again, so we're doing a treble, same stitch, just in case you haven't caught it yet, pulling through 2, pulling through 2, still keeping that thread up at the same height as the hoop, because I'm a very lazy weaver in, like weaving my ends in. I would much rather do it as I go where possible. So it's my third one. Okay, so I've got a little bundle of 3 more treble crochets. So my picture, 1, 2, 3. I'm now doing 2 chains. I'm highlighting them in advance. So 2 chains, 1 and 2. And now I've got 3 treble crochets into the center of the circle. So yarn over, in, through. So it's only a couple of different stitches, mainly just chains and trebles. So just get a little bit of practice of doing those stitches, and you'll be off. 1, 2, and 3. And then I know that it's now 2 chains. I'll show you now on the picture. 1, 2. Okay, so I just did 3 treble crochets, 2 chains, and then I'm just about to finish now. So I've just got to do 2 half treble crochets, because if you remember, this one here is I've already done something that looks a lot like a treble crochet. So I don't want to bulk that area up by adding some more. I just need to do 2, and then I'm going to be connecting it, which I'll show you in a moment. So I've done my 2 chains, that little bit there, and then I did 2 chains, yeah, and then yarn over, in, do my last 2 treble crochets, 1 and 2. Okay. All right, so I can see I've got 3 little bundles, and then this kind of weird thing here. All right, if you've currently started to overlap it, just pull this back. It is quite important that it's separate, that it's not kind of underneath your work, because these 3, 1, 2, 3, are going to be the 3 that you're going to call your 3rd treble crochet. So you're just going to go into the chain at the top, and then you're going to pick up your yarn, and you're going to slip stitch it on. All right, so I just went all the way through. I might do that one more time, because that is definitely the thing here when we do classes, people find the hardest. So I've got my little chain of 5. I'm counting up, just looking for the little edges. 1, 2, 3. Just going to connect it there. So I've just gone into that 3rd one, putting the yarn over behind and pulling it all the way through. And that is my little slip stitch, which is that little dot by there on that picture. Cool, let's do the next round. So the next round then, I'm going to stick to this colour for now. Oh, actually, that's that slip stitch, isn't it? I remember figuring out what that was once, but I'll have to let you know in a minute when I remember. Here we go. So we're now doing, oh, this is if you change colour. If you change colour, there's 2 slip stitches. I remember now, that's why there's 1 grey and 1 black. So don't worry that there's not an extra dot. That does make sense when you change colour. Here we go. So off we go. We're going to do 5 chains, and then I'll explain where that 3 treble crochets is going to go. So chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm keeping an eye on the comments. Do let me know if you've got any questions. Oh yes, you know what? I haven't actually done a plain colour one for ages. I've been doing all these multicoloured ones. Can you see if I do it like that, it's a little bit off. I don't actually like the position of that. I would prefer that to be the hole there. So that is actually the reason for that dot. Sorry, bad teacher there. I haven't done a single colour one for ages. when you change colour, you naturally do this. You naturally go in here and then you pick up your yarn and you pull it all through. So you kind of do 2 slip stitches and then you're in the dead corner. All right, so if you didn't see that, I'd stopped naturally by there. That's where I did that last little bit of work. Move this away so it's a little bit clearer. So that's where I did that slip stitch into the 3rd chain, but it's in a bit of a weird position there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 2nd slip stitch, and that's going to be in this hole in the corner next to it. I'm picking up the yarn from behind and I'm pulling it all the way through. I remember now. So that makes it look like you're in the dead corner. So let's have a little look actually before we carry on at what we got here. So you should have 4 biggish holes in the center, on the edges, and they should have 4 little sets of 3 stitches on each side. Fingers crossed that's what you've got. And what we're now going to be doing is expanding this to make it even bigger in the next row. So let's start where we already just did actually. Let's chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like so. And then can you see it's got 3 treble crochets and it's in, maybe it's not that clear with this picture, but it's in that hole where number 1 is written on mine. You're putting it into that top right hand corner. So yarn over, in, 3 treble crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Like so. Then in between, on the straight edges of your granny squares, there's just 1 chain. Okay, so on the long edges, you'll see that increases each row. There's only 1 chain. On the corners, there's 2 because it's obviously got a bend. So at this point, where we're just going along a straight edge, we're just going to add 1 chain above that first cluster of 3. And then in the next hole on the left-hand side, you're going to put 3 treble crochets in that left-hand corner. So yarn over, so 1 chain, and then I'm going over to the corner on the left-hand side, and I'm going to put 3 treble crochets inside there. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, like so. Now we're currently at this top edge here. Okay, we've just done those 3. Let me just do my colouring in. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I need to turn around that corner. So to do that, I'm going to do 2 chains, and then in the same hole, I'm going to put 3 more treble crochets. So a lot goes on in these corners. So it's 3 treble crochets, 2 chains, and 3 more treble crochets in that one corner. We didn't have to do that here because we were kind of starting at a kind of pure corner. We're going to go back and we're going to fill in the space by here. So we're going to do 2 chains. Try when you, I guess again, it doesn't really matter so much when you're doing single colour, but there is a top and a bottom to granny squares. It really isn't obvious, to be honest. Only people who know how to make them would ever notice. But try and make sure you don't ever flip your work. I remember someone telling me the way you can tell which is the front is that these little, the tops of the stitches should be kind of slanted downwards. So you should be able to see them all. On the back, you can't see them. So it doesn't look as attractive on the back. So just making sure that you're always working on the front of your work. Just thought I'd mention that whilst I remember. And then, so I've done my 3 treble crochets inside there. I'm currently on a straight. I need to get over this block. So I'm just going to do 1 chain over the top. And then in this corner, I'm going to put 3 treble crochet. So I'm now on my 3rd corner, going in, 3 trebles. Just check there's not any comments. Sometimes it doesn't come up. No, you're all very quiet. So I'm hoping that's because you're all busy crocheting. But these, a lot of conversations we have here at the studio about crochet, obviously. And lots of people say how they have got hundreds of granny squares. They've never assembled them into anything. And I can totally see how that happens, because once you get this process, it's very easy to just whip them out in like 20 minutes. And then you don't really know what to do with them at the end. So hopefully tomorrow will help with that. So we are currently there. I just did one chain and I did 3 trebles. So I'm at another corner. So I'm about to do these 2 corner chains, 2 chains, and then I'm going to do my 3 trebles all into that same hole, that left hand corner, or no, sorry, not the left hand on the picture, I suppose, but now up here. So 2 chains and then 3 treble crochets in the same hole. I hope it's not too distracting that my nails are the same colour as my yarn. Didn't really think about that. 1, 2 and 3. Okay, and now we're on a straight, so we just need to put 1 chain in to get over that straight stitch there. We're in another corner, so hopefully you've all now maybe getting to grips with the process, but it should be 3 trebles in this corner, 2 chains, and then 3 trebles again. Oh, good. Debbie's commented on the tip for left-handers. I'm glad there's a left-hander there. But yeah, I don't know why I thought of it, actually. There's something else I've done where I needed to flip something, and I've started flipping everything now. So yeah, makes life a lot easier to be able to not have to read everything backwards and be able to see it the way you're actually looking at it. So yeah, I'm glad that's useful. 3 trebles, 2 chains, and back in the same hole with 3 trebles. Oh, that's nice. Joanne's got a nice story to tell about her grandma who used to make the blankets. I assume they're called granny squares because it seems to be grannies who seem to like making them. But I do love that they're coming back into fashion. And there's some lovely ideas of like quite trendy things that you can make them with, some lovely colour combinations as well that you can have a go with. So let's have a little look at the picture, because this again is the bit that people find the hardest here. So I did that, I did that, I did that, and I did that. All right, so I just did the 3rd corner. So hopefully you're getting into the idea that there's all this going on inside that corner there. Then to finish it, we just need to kind of complete that 4th corner. So we've already done something that looks like the last treble of that set there. Those 3 chains are going to act as that. So all we need to do is our 1 chain, because we're going over the straight there. And then we're just going to do 2 treble crochets, and then we're going to connect it to the 3rd chain like we did in the last row there. So let me just get that done. Here we go. So I'm doing 1 chain, and then into that first hole that I've already done 1 little cluster, and I've got my 1 little chain, or 1 big chain of 5. I'm going to now put 2 more treble crochets inside that hole. So yarn over, in, and then I'm going to go yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then do 1 more time, my 2nd treble. And again, like I said last time, just make sure it's not kind of hidden underneath, make sure it's available. Then count up 1, 2, 3, connect with a slip stitch. So that means just going into that chain, pulling the thread through from behind, pulling it all the way through. And because it's in a bit of a funny position, you can now just go in and do a 2nd slip stitch, just so that you're in the dead corner. All right, so I'm just going to start row 3, and then I'm going to have a little go at changing colours. So I'm going to do this a little bit faster for those who think they may have got it by now. And again, these videos are available for like ever. So if you can always rewind and go back and watch it again. So here we go. So we've just done that slip stitch. We're going to do a chain of 5, and then we're going to put 3 treble crochets in the hole that we literally have just come out of by there. So chain of 5, and then we're going to do our 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3 trebles inside that hole. So just quickly, let me just double check that yours looks like that. So you should have 4 holes in each of the corners, and now, because we've gone a bigger row, also 4 in the kind of in the diamond shape as well. So 8 holes in total, and then 8 little clusters around the outside. Hopefully yours is starting to take shape as well. So now I've done my chain of 5. I'm going to do 3 treble crochets inside there. Yarn over. I'm going quite fast now, so apologies if you've just joined. But yeah, you might need to go back where I was going super slow. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we're going along a straight now. So a straight means that we're just going to do 1 chain, and then we're going to go into that one, yarn over, into the center, do 3 treble crochets, chain 1 because we're along a straight again. So this is where it's slightly different to the previous row, but from now on this increases every row. Excuse me, excuse my voice. So we just did that little corner, we did a 1 chain, and we've done just 1 in the straights. So because each row it gets a little bit longer, you then, let me just find my bigger one to show you. So where are we now? We did 2. Yeah, so we're on this one now, we're on the green one. The next row, there'll be 2 along the straights. So there'll just be 1 in each of the spaces, and then you put the 2s only in the corners. On the next row, and there's 3 along the straights. The next row, the blues, there's 4. So they speed up the more you go round the rows because you're whizzing along the straights in no time at all. So we've just done 1 there, and then whenever we hit a corner, we're going to need to do that big bit of action. So the big action is 3 treble crochets, 2 chains, and 3 treble crochets. 1, 2, 3, 2 chains, 3. Like I said, it feels like quite a lot to remember when you start, but honestly, I haven't actually been making granny squares for very long, and already it's like I can do it now whilst watching telly. I can do it now whilst talking to you. Well, I say that and I've just made a mistake. But yeah, in theory, I can. It's quite a nice one to have just by the sofa for those nights when you want something to do, but you also want to maybe watch what's on telly or be part of a conversation or something. So I'm on a straight again now. So I've done my 1 chain, and then I'm about to just put 1 bundle, 1 cluster inside the straight, the hole there. So that's going to be the one where it's just 3 trebles. 3 trebles. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you think you've got it, or if you want me to go back over anything. If not, I'm gonna, on the next round, I'm gonna change colour for you to get another colour at the ready. It's a really good stash buster. There's no reason really to go out and buy yarns. You can just, as long as they're similar thickness yarns, you'll be able to make nice colourful products, and they get quite far. We've been using 4 balls of yarn here to make 33 granny squares on average. So you can get a fair, the cardigan from memory, I think is 38 squares. So it was about 5 balls of yarn it took in the end. But not bad. 2 and 3. Okay. And I've actually got quite a long way to go, so I might actually go backwards. No one's asked any questions. So rather than, what I'll just quickly run through what I would have done. I would have done 1 chain by here. I would have put 3 treble crochets inside this hole here on the straight. Then I've got to a corner, so I would have done my 1 chain. I'd have done 3 treble crochets, 2 chains, 3 treble crochets, then 1 chain. Then I would have done 3 treble crochets inside here and 1 chain. And then I would have finished it by just doing 2 treble crochets in here. And then I would have come along to the 3rd chain, connected it with a slip stitch. And then I would have just done an extra little slip stitch there just to make those corners nice and square. Like I said, I'm going to go backwards just because I don't want to keep you here all day. And I think hopefully it should make sense. But yeah, just keep going with 1 colour if you like for a while. You can turn them into ponchos and all sorts of nice things. So yeah, loads of ideas online. Simple products with 1 big granny square. Okay, so let me just find some scissors. There we go. So we're going to finish off the pink. You can obviously change colour at any point. There is quite a lot of weaving in. Yeah, Heather, I'll send the picture afterwards. I'll send the right and the left-handed version. So we're just about to change colours, okay? So I've done my 2 treble crochets and I'm about to finish my row. So I'm just going to cut my yarn so it's out of the way. When the dog's just come to see me, she wants something. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish that stitch completely in this colour. This is a new way we've been doing. We've tried a few different things, and we have a few different clubs here, but people are loving this method. So I'm going to show you this way that is really popular. It's just something I think one of us saw on YouTube. So we're going through and we're finishing the stitch as normal. Okay, so we're just pulling that through, and we're just going to pull it all the way through. Okay, so that stitch is finished. That end does need to be woven in afterwards. You can do a little bit as you introduce the new colour. I'm just going to use purple next. There you go, find the end. And then what I'm doing is I'm not starting on that corner. I'm making sure I don't flip my work. Like I said, that's the back and that's the front there, where the V's are easy to see, because I just don't want too much happening in my colour change corner. So I'm just going to skip over to the next corner. It doesn't really matter which corner you use. And then I'm just going to thread it through. And then this is maybe goes against a lot of people's rules about crochet, but oh man, life's busy. So I'm going to put a knot in it here. So I'm literally just going to knot it onto the corner like so. I'm going to do a double knot because I really don't like weaving in. And then I'm going to put my crochet hook inside. I'm going to scoop up the yarn from behind so it's ready to use. And then I'm going to do my 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and now I'm getting started from this corner. So now I'm going to put 3 treble crochets in here. 1. So exactly the same as I've been doing on previous rows. Oh, and actually, I missed my opportunity there, but I'm going to make sure this tail is the height of my stitch here, because that's slightly woven in then. It's going to go underneath these 3 stitches if I keep it held up high. 1, 2, and 3. And I can see a huge knot coming. Hopefully that's not going to be a problem. No, here we go. 2, 3. Okay. And then I'm just going to do as normal. So chain 1. I'm going to go into the hole as normal and do my 3 on the straight. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, again, I've got this end here. I'm going to make sure that's over the corner because I want to kind of weave it in as I go. So I'm just doing my 1 chain, and then I'm going into that chain space. Sorry, my camera's a little bit out of focus. I keep moving my hands a bit too much. And treble 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to chain 2 as normal. So the process is exactly the same. I just wanted you to see one full row of it so you can see the slight things that I do to make sure that I can work a little bit. I don't have to work so hard next time to fix them. But tomorrow I'll go through weaving in ends, I'll go through blocking, and then I'll give you a couple of little tips of different ways to put your blocks together and to make these sort of products here that we've made. I'll just give you a few little pointers in the right direction. And then, yeah, I would just carry on as normal, going all the way around. And then I would finish here with the 2 treble crochets. I would finish that stitch off. And then I would maybe start then the new colour in a different corner, let's say this corner, by adding it on with a knot, picking it up from behind, chaining 5 and going all the way around again with my new colour. Like I said, for now, just leave quite long ends because it makes life a lot easier if they're at least 10 centimetres so that it's easy to thread them onto a needle, etc. And whilst I remember, just whilst maybe some of you have, maybe enjoyed this, I can always go back to my face if someone from Virtual Village Hall is there, but I don't mind if not. My hair's a bit messy today. There's a couple of books that I've been quite surprised to find that there's lots of stuff about granny squares in them. So these are ones that I already had. Thank you. These are ones that I already had, quite basic beginners crochet books. But because granny squares are such a kind of classic thing, a lot of people own this book. This is quite a beginner friendly book with lots of nice diagrams. But you'll see there's lots of diagrams very similar to the one I've been using today, and lots of tips for putting them together. I was quite surprised to find how much information I already had at home. I didn't have to buy a new book, but because I was teaching them, I decided to treat myself And I did buy this book, Granny Square Source Book. The hard ones are impossible, but some of the beginners ones are really nice, really pretty. And then because I've recently got into these pictures, they've all got pictures, which is like life-changing. To someone like me who's quite a visual learner, I find I don't actually read the instructions, I just look at the pictures, and I'm getting really used to following them. So I would recommend giving them a go. Cool. So yeah, like I said, tomorrow we'll weave in, block, and start putting them together. So if you do get a chance, you can, even if you have a go at making, let's say, 2 biggish ones and find yourself an old hot water bottle, you could always turn them into a hot water bottle cover. Or if you had 5, you can make a little storage box like this. But if you want to keep going, I think this bag is 13 squares, rings a bell, and then this one is 38. So not too many. So yeah, get cracking, and I'll see you at 11 o'clock tomorrow. All right, and I'll post the picture now. Bye.